guys, and welcome to the video that will probably offend you a lot. Maybe. I don't know. First thing, I'm just gonna do a little bit of housekeeping with this is I'm just gonna say for the next monthly video, you guys can put your suggestions below, but I am probably only going to put options that are short, maybe reactions or just kind of short, easy videos for me to do. The end of next month might be a little bit busy for me. I don't actually know if it's going to be busy or not, so I will know closer to the time probably. But I think some of my friends are going to be coming down for, it might be the weekend before, it might be the weekend after of my birthday, and so I may not have a ton of time to film something extravagant and edit a lot and, you know, whatever. So just so you guys know, if you put something that's going to be a little bit more effort, then I'll put that for the next monthly video to kind of put that in, just so you guys know. So if you suggest something that's a little bit more work and it doesn't go into the poll, that's why. But yeah, okay, so now that I'm done with that, this video, it was kind of interesting. I was thinking about like cool ideas that I could put on for certain videos for these like monthly videos. And I thought of this and I said, I think it would be kind of interesting to kind of talk about how I view different fandoms or whatever based solely on my comment section. The good, bad, and the very ugly. Just so you know, if you guys are really sensitive about certain fandoms or whatever, and like, please do not watch this. The whole point of this video is to kind of be slightly judgmental, so I really don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that, because any kind of the negative stuff that I'm going to say about any of these fandoms and stuff, I wholeheartedly believe that I'm not talking about you guys who I feel like actually genuinely care and know how much hard work I put in and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of get into this so this video is not ridiculously long. The first fandom that I am going to talk about, I'm going to try to hit all of the fandoms, by the way, and I'm not going to give spoilers, so you can watch the whole video. I'll try to talk in code if anything comes up that is slightly spoilery. So the first fandom that I'm going to talk about is the OG fandom of my channel, and that's The Walking Dead. It's the whole reason I started my channel. It's my favorite show. How do I feel about The Walking Dead fandom? In general, I feel I have a positive look about The Walking Dead fandom if I'm talking about Walking Dead fans. I will say more than any other comment section that I have, The Walking Dead is filled with the most non-Walking Dead fans saying how much they don't like The Walking Dead. It's like a thing. They love to be like, I hate it. And you're like, great, thanks for sharing. And I don't really know why that is, more so than other shows and stuff, but whatever. But in general, the fandom itself has been really kind of nice. It's weird because I think as time has gone on, the fandom, I feel like Walking Dead has gotten less mainstream, and I try to explain what I mean by that. A lot of times when you get a lot of negative, like a reaction blows up and you get a lot of negative comments, it's people who aren't subscribers, but your video somehow got popular, so everybody's watching it and they just want to shit on you. For whatever reasons. And I've had a couple of videos like that for The Walking Dead. Not a lot, a couple, a handful. But even lately, the last video that I did, which the mid-season finale, which got a lot of views and was a big thing, I didn't actually get a ton of, I mean, I got a couple of random, maybe I'm just getting more desensitized to them. I mean, that's possible. I got a couple of comments that were a little bit nasty, but in general, they were pretty good. I think people, for some reason, a lot of people have given up on The Walking Dead or whatever their reasoning is. And because of that, it's kind of become a little bit more of a tight-knit group lately. Besides the random couple of comments like, I hate The Walking Dead, but you comment on reaction videos to it. It makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I think that that's kind of how they've gotten a little bit better. And same goes for Fear. I think Fear is kind of a nice little tight group. I like my Fear videos. It's so weird how sometimes I really look forward to kind of my more low-key videos, and I don't think Fear is as low-key as some of the other shows that I do, but I think in general, the way that I feel about the Walking Dead fandom is a group of people who like more character-driven stories than plot-driven stories. And in general, honestly, pretty sweet. I do get a handful of nasty comments or whatever, but for some reason, it hasn't been that hefty. Wait, watch. One of these next reactions is gonna hit me like a ton of bricks. But at the moment, I'm not really feeling anything too bad about the Walking Dead fandom. I feel like they're pretty passionate, but not to the level of like some of the other shows that I watch and stuff like that, where they're like aggressive about stuff. The thing that I do find with the Walking Dead fandom is that because every single character is kind of in this gray area and everybody relates to different characters, is that there's a lot of arguing about characters and who you like or who you don't like or whatever. I get a lot of shit for liking Rick, which is fine, you know, and some people really love Negan and some people really love whoever. So I think that that's kind of like more so what people really, everybody kind of relates to different characters. But in general, so right now I have good vibes with the Walking Dead fan base. I'm gonna kind of group the next bit. Some of my favorite reactions are the reactions that see, this is, I mean, you know what, it's stereotypical, but that's what I'm supposed to be doing with this video. It's the reactions that I call the really low-key reactions, but really intelligent viewers. And that is like The Americans, which is starting, or I guess you're gonna already have seen the premiere episode uploaded, or my reaction to. And things like that. I think that the Americans, them, The Leftovers, True Detective, that was way back when. I only had like a couple of commenters on True Detective, but they were like fairly the same. And it's like the same, you get the same commenters every week. You don't get a ton of views, but every single commenter puts a really in-depth like essay about how they felt about certain things and really kind of strong feelings about stuff like that. I really like those type of I think of Americans viewers as more intelligent than the average, and I don't know if that's whatever. This whole thing is supposed to be judgmental, so that's how I view them. I view them as more intelligent, okay with a slow burn of an episode. I think I feel that way about the same with The Leftovers. Twin Peaks a bit. I feel like Twin Peaks is not something that you can watch just on the surface. That would be really difficult to do because it's so bizarre and so in-depth and so artsy that you have to really analyze it in order to enjoy it. Yeah, so I would probably kind of group some of those together as kind of low-key. And then I have probably another groups of shows that would be more like low-key, but oh Lord, I don't know how I would put it. Maybe just lovable, really sweet audiences. I feel that way about Bates, Downton Abbey, Prison Break. Those, I feel like a lot of the commenters, I got some shit for Bates from like a couple of people because like I was a big fan of Romero and apparently some people didn't like him. Whatever. But other than that, you know, like besides the typical like somebody doesn't like somebody that you like or whatever, it really felt like with those shows, it wasn't so much in depth of like, you know, we need to analyze every little thing or whatever with these shows. Though I do think, I will say that Bates Motel is probably one of the best character analysis types of shows. It's not so much plot oriented, but more character based. I would say that those are kind of the ones that I feel like is like this wonderful little corner of my channel that people really love. And the other fans of such a interesting if just fans of the show can really kind of bond over. So I think of people, fans of those shows, as really lovable, really sweet, really kind, and stuff like that. I think I'm going through and trying to think of like all of the kind of Stranger Things. I don't know if I have a ton of an opinion about Stranger Things. It's weird because I think that Stranger Things is, I would get a very different comments and grouping if I didn't pace it once a week. So if you're a Stranger Things fan and you're just like, you binged it super quick and then you're looking for reactions the next week and then maybe you forget about it, I feel like it's a lot more popular with that, and I would get more hate with that. But in general, they're pretty nice. I got some shit for some stuff throughout what I included, what I didn't, or whatever. But I think if you show that you love the show, that, you know, Stranger Things, they're normally pretty nice. I think that that's probably the one show that I don't have a very strong opinion on the fan base, because I believe the fan base is pretty typical. Like, it's a pretty, like, almost everybody watches Stranger Things and loves it and stuff like that. So, all right, going into, let's go into Sherlock. Sherlock's interesting. I find Sherlock to be a very, very interesting, that was voted on for me. I enjoyed it enough. It wasn't like my favorite thing that I was watching, but I definitely enjoyed it enough. How do I feel? I felt like in the comments they talked a lot about shipping. There's something about Sherlock fans and shipping and relationships and who loves who and who doesn't love who. I felt like that was a really, like, which I don't think was harped on a lot in the actual show as much as it was harped on in my comment section. I felt like that was really brought up, and then there were certain people that they loved, certain people that they didn't love, and this person should be with this person and this person should be with that person. And I was just, it was very, I felt like it was people who really cared a lot about relationships, and that's kind of how I see. And then like people who were, and then old school fans of Sherlock, like people who really loved the show, or the stories, and were they short stories technically? Yeah. And so I think there was a mixture of both in that. I think that Sherlock did a really, really good job of portraying that, but it was, I felt like it was, that's what I think of. I think of people who really care about relationships and like who's not dating, but like who loves who. So that's how I feel about them. Black Mirror, very opinionated people. Is when I think about them, I think of just, yeah, like really super opinionated. People have really strong, I mean, it kind of comes with the territory when you're doing like Black Mirror, because it's sort of like, God, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's sort of like you have, and oh Lord, like an opinion. I don't even know how to explain it, but because of the fact that each story is kind of different and some can, you know, cater to different people, you know, I really liked Nosedive, and some other people probably couldn't care less about Nosedive. I think that because of that, it kind of leads to like, this is the best. And I feel like a bit of competition. I sense that a bit in my comment sections, like, this is the best. No, this is the best. No, this is the best. No, this is shit. I hate this. I love this, and whatever. But also people who are not afraid of getting mind fucked. I mean, so I think of them as really brave and really opinionated. That's probably the best way to describe Black Mirror fans to me, from my experience. I'm gonna go into Marvel now. I'm gonna do Marvel Netflix as kind of one, though I will say probably the majority of people on my channel that watch a Marvel Netflix series, I feel like I have quite a few that only watch Jessica Jones because of David Tennant, because it's no surprise that the good majority of my channel has to do with Doctor Who. So I definitely think, but other than that, I would probably say that they're kind of the same people, kind of who watch Daredevil, who watch Luke Cage, who watch The Defenders, Punisher, stuff like that. Normally really nice. For some reason, with the Marvel Netflix series, people really are fine with the fact that I don't know anything about it. A lot of reactors that are really into watching Marvel shows or watching DC shows, I feel like, I don't know, really have a strong feeling towards comic books and have read a lot or know a lot about it. And for some reason, and I wouldn't say this is always the case with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I have gotten some shit in the past for, which I'll talk about in a second, but I've gotten some shit in the past for, you know, not knowing certain things with the comics or whatever. But for some reason with the Marvel Netflix shows, people are really accommodating. And I think, again, that might be kind of my Stranger Things syndrome that I was just talking about, where I don't react to it all at once. So I don't think I get the, not to use such a derogatory term or whatever, but the typical comic book fanboys who probably marathon the show pretty quick. Then they go and they look up reactions. My reactions come out a lot later, so it probably takes them a little bit longer to find my reactions. And I don't think that I'm the reactions that they see right away. And so I don't really get hit with the whole, like, how do you not know this? I mean, so weirdly, I feel like the Marvel Netflix shows have always been really kind to me when it comes to that kind of stuff. I mean, they're always very nice. They always love my take on how I feel about characters not knowing the comics. I think maybe it's a little bit different. Though I think that there's plenty of reactors that also don't know much about comics as well, but I think maybe the majority probably have an idea. So I think it's kind of interesting to sort of go into, and I think they kind of respect that. I don't know too much about that. And with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like I said, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is weird. How do I feel about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fandom? I have pros and cons. I think from now on we're going to have some pros and cons going up in this bitch. Pros and cons. Pros are they know good shit when they see it. What's the best fucking superhero show on TV? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And if you don't believe that, you probably just don't watch it. I'm dead ass serious with that. Oh God, it's so funny. People who don't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're like, I tried watching the first couple episodes and then I didn't like it. And it's like, whatever. You're missing a lot. I'm just saying, it's so underrated. But anyway, so there is something like if somebody else watches S.H.I.E.L.D., you're like, I see you. We both know good stuff. Yeah. So I kind of have that vibe with a lot of them, and there's some people that I've seen. S.H.I.E.L.D. is, I think, like the second show that I ever reacted to on my channel. Started in season 2 and we're now in season 5. And so I feel like there are some people who have just been with me the whole time, which is really, really nice. I feel like very comforted when I see certain comments and stuff. So that's the pros. Really sweet in general. Cons are, if they are more comic book oriented or care more about superpowers than character stuff, they probably don't like my reactions, and I get a bit of shit for that. I got a bit of shit. I feel like it was either the first Ghost Rider episode or the second or whatever, and I didn't know anything about Ghost Rider, and I said it, but then people ate me alive, like, how do you not know? Like, all of this stuff. It was just a mess. I could give 2 fucks about Emo Quake, and I got so much shit for that. I got so much shit for that. Sorry that that's a little, I don't think that that's really that spoilery, but you know, that whole thing, I was not loving that. So yeah, I mean, it goes back and forth. Every so often I'll hit an episode of really crazy comic book fans come in for me, and like, I'm sorry that I don't know everything, but yeah, I do get that a bit more on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm not entirely sure why. Somebody else can go into the psychology of it all, of why I get that more on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and not the Marvel Netflix shows. And like, the Marvel Netflix shows are like, it's okay, like all of them are really nice about it. It's weird. But anyway, I'm trying to think if I'm missing like some shows. I have Westworld. I think people who watch my Westworld reactions don't particularly like me, but that's because I don't particularly like Westworld, and I'm probably not going to do season 2 because it's all been done before and much better. My opinion. But yeah, I think so. I don't think very fondly of my Westworld comment sections, but I don't really blame them, because if they're big fans of the show and they come see my reaction and I'm like, this is so boring, then I mean, how would you feel? I mean, probably not very good, right? If I went to my favorite show and I was like so excited to see somebody watch it and then they like hated it, yeah, you know, just my opinion with that. Now, I think I'm going to end with the 2 kind of, well, I started with the big one with Walking Dead. My biggest 3 shows are Walking Dead, Doctor Who, and Game of Thrones. Am I missing? I don't think I'm missing anything else. Let me know if I missed something. But let me do Doctor Who next. Doctor Who and Game of Thrones are kind of... Doctor Who would have been very different if and I'm going to do pros and cons for each. Doctor Who would have been very different if I did this video like a year or so ago. Doctor Who has grew ridiculously on my channel. It's been a really wonderful journey for me. The community has embraced me so much. It's ridiculous. And I try to give back as much as I can. I try to, you know, with Doctor Who December and just, and other things as well. Like, I try to do a lot because I feel so loved by the community. I mean, the whole reason that I moved on from season 1, which I didn't particularly like that much, was the fact that, you know, everybody was so sweet to me. I don't want to take any of that away. I think that those people are still there. I think those people are, so any sort of complaints I have with the Doctor Who community, which are getting a lot more prevalent in my mind lately, because the magnitude is very, it's hard to get hit with a lot of the same comments or a lot of the same whatever. But in general, what I will say is that Doctor Who is the comment sections are normally, now there was a good portion of time where I didn't read any of the comment sections. I still should go back and like read some of the older ones now that I've kind of gotten past Eleven's regeneration and stuff, but they're all normally really nice. Everyone's really, really nice. Like I don't get hate comments. Another thing that I love about Doctor Who fans, and I don't know, again, see, this stuff fascinates me. I can wear whatever the fuck I want for a Doctor Who reaction, and nobody, you might comment on it and be like, oh my god, I love the dress, or oh my god, you know, but nobody is like, why the fuck are you wearing a dress? Or why do you have cleavage? Or why are you a woman? Like, why? Which is like so much of the other comment sections that I get, like tenfold. I feel like, which is really, like, I'm sure you guys don't care, but I feel like I can really like have some fun with my outfits when it comes to Doctor Who, and I really love that. So that's a really great thing. It's kind of fun and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't put that much effort into it. Sometimes I put a lot of effort into it. Normally my finale reactions, I try to look nice. My reviews, I'm always wearing some really dolled up dress and stuff, you know, but, and nobody comments, and it must be something about the outlandishness of Doctor Who that you don't really care as much or something. I don't know what it is, but that's another big plus in the Doctor Who community. Negatives. The negatives of the Doctor Who community: one, impatience, obviously. I swear. And I think some people say that, like, oh, they say that about other shows. Not to the magnitude. There's not to the magnitude. What's today? It's Wednesday. I'm going to start getting "Where's Doctor Who" comments on my Instagram, on my Snapchat, I'm going to tweet about, I'll tweet about anything. Fear the Walking Dead or something. And then I'm sure I'll get a comment sometime within the next couple of days of, "Where's Doctor Who?" Is that an offensive comment? Not entirely. I mean, in a sense, it's a compliment. They want to see more and stuff. But it's also really annoying when you get and I feel like with that, you can't maybe understand how frustrating it can be unless you're on the receiving end of how much I get every fucking week. And it is insane. I'm even doing technically kind of 2 Doctor Who videos if you count Sarah Jane. Like, I'm doing a Doctor Who spinoff and that's still not enough. Wow, my god. And everybody's fucking nuts. I can't wait until this fucking review comes on, because I've had a lot of new subscribers since Doctor Who December, for sure. And I do 1 reaction a week, but I pause for a week for the review. I've always done it this way. I'm going to continue doing it this way. And I know for a fact I'm gonna get like crazy ass people. I just responded, and I'm starting to respond and not be as nice. There's comments sometimes that just say false things, because they're like, you put out like 3 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reactions every week, or 2 to 3 or something, and only 1 Doctor Who. And they're all nasty about it. And I'm like, excuse you, bitch. I can't put out 3 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reactions out a week because it only airs once a week. So fake news, you know what I'm saying? Fake news. But anyway, so really impatient. And the other thing that I would probably say is that, I don't even know how to explain this, but probably like they think that Doctor Who is the center of everyone's universe if it's the center of your universe. I think that would be another thing. Just kind of, I mean, but that kind of comes with the impatience and the importance of Doctor Who and stuff. And I feel like I do a lot for Doctor Who fans. I feel like I do so much. And to get complaints that it's not enough, or, you know, why do you do Walking Dead videos? You know, like I do a Walking Dead weekly chat because that's my favorite show. And just because Doctor Who is your favorite show doesn't mean it has to be my favorite. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff, sort of. I get a lot of that. So impatient and passionate, and some of that can be a good thing. You know, like at the same time, I do absolutely understand that the whole "where's Doctor Who" thing is technically a compliment in and of its own right. So in general, I do have good vibes towards the Doctor Who community. I think I also see them as a bit, sometimes, again, this is stereotyping and whatever, really set in their ways and their way of thinking. There's a lot of they need to be right. And not towards me really, but towards each other in comment sections. And I talked about this in one of my videos where it's like people assume, like if you say I like Clara, or if you say I like fill in the blank, whoever, or whatever season, people come at you with like, you only like them because of this, this, and this, and they try to like label you and how you feel about things. And so I mean, I think very passionate, can be a little bit aggressive when it comes to arguing the points of the show, who's the best doctor, all of that stuff. Pretty intense, I would say. Like there was a lot of like when people were worried if I was gonna like 12, and people were like, the people who don't like 12 are only people who are attracted to 10 and 11. And I'm like, that makes no sense. And that wasn't just like one comment. I saw that a lot. So it's like, I think that that's, what? Maybe they just don't like the personality. I'm liking 12, but you know what I mean? Anyway, so Doctor Who, really passionate, enthusiastic, but maybe don't give them an entire December because then they won't stop complaining about not having enough videos. I'm just kidding. I love Doctor Who December. I don't think I've ever been prouder of something that I've accomplished with my channel, so there's that. That was just a little joke. And then I'm gonna end on the whopper, Game of Thrones. If you guys don't actually know, I'm deciding whether I'm actually going to react to the final season of Game of Thrones. I know. It's kind of because it's only 6 weeks or 6 episodes. So maybe I should just do it, and you know, it's only 6 weeks. I can get through it. I've gotten through previous seasons. I didn't particularly like this last season. I thought it was kind of not great, and I feel like they're writing a lot of my favorite characters off a cliff. Just my opinion. And Game of Thrones, what are the pros of Game of Thrones comment sections? I'm sure there's some nice comments in there. That's all I'll say. I have no idea. I think like some of the people that have been on my channel a lot, and they know me and they know what I like and what I care about, then, you know, stuff like that. What are the negative parts of a Game of Thrones comment section? Everything. I get crucified for my looks. The amount of anxiety I have with what I wear, well, that I used to have, I don't care anymore. And this last season, I didn't read the comment sections, made for a happier life. But they'll still get at you, just like the Where's Doctor Who. They'll still send me Twitter messages, or not messages on Twitter, but tweets and messages on Instagram, and like, fuck you, and I hate you, and like, you're a fat cow, or whatever. All this fun stuff. It's a very stressful time, the Game of Thrones season, because even if I don't go into the comment sections, I still get a fair amount of abuse. I think of Game of Thrones as a lot of, how do I view their fandom? A lot of young men, at least that watch my videos, a lot of young men that like to criticize a woman for her looks. A lot of just assholes. Sorry. I'm sorry if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, because I'm not giving you a good name, but you really haven't had the receiving end of all of this, so listen. I'm just letting you know. But yeah, I haven't really decided whether or not I'm going to endure it for another season. It is only one more season. It's only 6 weeks. I can probably get through it. But do I really want to do that to myself? I'm not entirely sure. Especially when I'm almost positive I'm not going to like the ending, because they're setting up Cardboard 1 and Cardboard 2 to kind of be the most important characters. Sorry, that was really shady of me. But that's how I feel. And it's a lot of abuse all the time about my looks, about who I care about. I wonder what my like ratio is. This is just going to depress me. Maybe it's not that bad. I would assume my like-dislike ratio, let me find it, for the Spoils of War. And I'm not going to go into it in case you are planning on watching Game of Thrones. But if you guys know that video, there was a fight between 2 houses, and there was kind of one house that you typically should root for, and I was rooting for the other one a lot, though I did cut out most of my hatred and negative things about the other house because I really didn't feel like dealing with the the bullshit. I didn't want it to. Spoils of War. There you are. What's my like-dislike ratio? Okay, it's not bad. It's at 2.7k likes and 348 dislikes. It's definitely a bigger portion of dislikes than I typically get, but it could be worse. It could definitely be worse. With like Game of Thrones, you're always going to get like a ton of dislikes no matter what. The problem is that there's so many different houses and characters, and if you don't like the favorites, then you're screwed, which is me. I want Cersei to kill them all. Opinion. And I just don't know if I want to deal with the abuse of that. Sometimes I get good comments. Sometimes I get really surprised. I think it was the premiere episode of this last season that I got literally nice comments. Sorry if you hear Rocco up there, he's moving a lot. I got a lot of nice comments and I was like shocked, but then you get whacked. Like in an episode that you don't even think you're gonna get negative comments on or something like that, you're gonna get, or messages I guess is more accurately, because I didn't really look at comments. Made me happier. But yeah. Game of Thrones, honestly, I think of the fandom as very volatile. Sometimes very nice. It's a mixed bag, but I would say there's more nasty comments on Game of Thrones than any of my other videos, ever. Even if I grouped all of the other shows that I did and counted up their negative comments and then counted up Game of Thrones negative comments, it would still be more over here. I'm pretty positive. So, you know, maybe I should just get thicker skin or something. I hope you enjoyed this video and didn't take like too much offense to it. I'm not sure if you did take offense to it or not. I feel like I thought it was an interesting video. I'm always really interested in perspectives of things, and I thought this was kind of a cool thing to sort of, you know, go into and think about, you know, different perspectives on these shows and how I view things, because, you know, I think I am in a bit of a unique position where, you know, things are coming at me. I get the negative comments, or I get the great comments, or I get the, you know, and I thought it was kind of an interesting video to do, and I hope that you felt the same. So yeah, Sorry that this is kind of long, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!